I would like to thank everybody who is part of this program. Bacolao, Lenny Gonzalez is here. Lenny, thank you very much. John Lees and Rishi Rawatramani. Rishi, thank you very much for Virginia New Majority. And also Tim Freilich, Legal Aid Justice Center. Thank you very much for your support. Marco Grimaldo, thank you. From the Virginia Interfaith Center, Joy Szakos and Emily Reid, thank you for helping to organize this event. As well, Dan Choi from Capava, Alice Falls, Jerry Falls, Suk Jong Oh from the Commonwealth Institute, Amanda Riley from Just Neighbors, thank you for being part of this excellent process. Claire Castañaga, also from ACLU, from Virginia. Aurora Vasquez and Wesley from the Tenant Workers, Silvio Benavides from LULAC, Dong Yong Kim from Nagasek. So they have been part of this process, and it has been excellent working with them to organize this. So the purpose of this meeting is definitely to organize statewide and to organize Virginians can work together to pass immigration reform. So there is no discussion. Virginians know better who are our representatives and how we need to work together in order to convince or persuade our legislators to pass immigration reform. So this is the purpose of this meeting, and today is going to be a full day of discussion and strategy, and it's going to be wonderful. Whatever we decide today, we will be moving forward. And let's welcome Joy Szakos from Virginia Organizing. He will be talking about what is going on in the national level and what is going on, what campaigns are going on in the state level as well. Thank you, Joy Szakos. Welcome.
Can you all stand for just 1 minute, please? And can we give a big round of applause to Edgar for pulling us together? And all signs show that this is the year, 2013, where we will see major immigration reform in this country. And the reason I asked you to stand is I want us to just take a moment to honor the people who came before us, who fought for many, many years on many, many struggles. For the people in this room who spent many, many years fighting in many, many struggles. And for those of us gathered today who make a commitment that we will continue those struggles throughout this year, we just want to take a moment of silence to show our appreciation. Okay, and the best way to end the silence is the biggest cheer that you can give. There's a growing movement across Virginia and across this country for immigration reform. And today I want to talk to you about coordinating with the national campaign, but there are two key messages. One is you should always do what you think is important to move immigration forward, immigration reform forward. You don't have to wait for somebody's permission. You don't have to ask anybody what they think. You should do what you think is right and will help the cause. Having said that, the second message is the more that we can coordinate, the more effective we're going to be and the more focused that we can be to move some of our targets. Okay? That's going to happen this afternoon. We're going to go into small groups. We're going to go by congressional district. We're going to talk about how we get more people involved and how we make sure that we move our members of Congress to vote the right way. The Alliance for Citizenship is a national table that's trying to coordinate work throughout the country. That table has two numbers in mind. One is 218. That's how many votes we need in the United States House of Representatives to move something forward. The other is 60 in the United States Senate. You know, you learn from your third grade math teacher that half of 100 is 50, but that's not quite how the United States Senate works these days. So we want to make sure we get 60 votes. The national campaign has asked Virginia Organizing to coordinate with them to you. So we'll make sure that we're passing information on when there's national days of action, when there's information that they have. They're going to try to keep track. They're going to keep that main scorecard. And what I want to tell you today is a little bit about what they have in mind for our congressional delegation. Senator Warner and Senator Kaine are in the positive category. At this point, we really believe that they're going to vote and they're going to support immigration reform. That's good news for us because all we have to do is just make sure they stay over there. Now, on the House of Representatives, well, those of you who have been working on these kind of things know that it's a pretty heavy lift. The targets, one of the key targets is going to be Congressman Scott Ridgell, who's in Virginia Beach and CD2. And the person who's going to be coordinating that work in that district is Teresa Stanley, who's an organizer for Virginia Organizing. And by coordinating, I don't mean she's going to tell us what to do, but she's going to help make sure that there's a flow of information, and when there's meetings scheduled, to let the biggest group of people know that they're there, and to pass along any information that we find out in meetings with the congressman or with his staff to get back to people so that we can be the most effective that we can. The second key target is Congressman Frank Wolf. And Rishi, who's in the back of the room with Virginia New Majority, is going to be the person who's going to be on the ground coordinating work in Congressman Wolf's district. Those two are seen as two members of the Congress who could support immigration reform. Neither one of them has made a commitment for it yet. Two other key people in the state are Congressman Goodlatte, who's the head of the House Judiciary Committee. He's going to be the one to be the traffic controller here of what legislation goes through him and his committee. He's not one of our favorites on this particular subject, but that doesn't mean that we can't show him some love and have people working in that district. And Emily Reel, who works out of Harrisonburg, is going to be the person on the ground to coordinate work in that district. The other key leader in the House is, the majority leader is Eric Cantor. And he's out of Richmond. Again, he's not supportive at all. In fact, he'll probably never ever vote for this, but because he's in such a key position, we're going to have to make sure that there's some pressure on him from his constituents. And Kathy Woodson is going to be the organizer who's going to coordinate that work in that district. So we have two U.S. senators who we think are solidly with us. We have two members of Congress, Ridgell and Wolf, that we think can move. And we have two key leaders in Goodlatte and Cantor who just need a push. Then we have others. We are assuming, this is through the Alliance for Citizenship, the national table, that Congressman Jim Moran and Congressman Bobby Scott are going to be really good on this. It never hurts to thank them for their support in doing that. Congressman Jerry Conley, we assume is going to be supportive, but everybody thinks he might need a little more encouragement to kind of move along. And in the small group session this afternoon, we'll be talking about how that can happen. Then we have four others. Congressman Whitman in CD1, Congressman Forbes in CD4, Congressman Hurt in CD5, and Congressman Griffith in CD9. Oh, wow, I don't know. We're in a church, so we'll be polite about what we might think of those folks. But I'll just give you an example because I live in Charlottesville, and Congressman Robert Hurt is our member of Congress. We have done an assessment that there is no way on earth that he's going to be among the 218 people who vote for immigration reform. So what we're asking people in our area to do is to contact him and let him know he should do the right thing. But take about 95% of their energy and really call into people who live in Congressman Wolf's district or Congressman Ridgell's district, and we have tools to make that work, that they're calling actual constituents of those members of Congress to get them to move. And so we'll coordinate that work with the people who are on the ground to do that, okay? Again, in the national table is really trying to keep track of these targets. We're trying to push up and lift up the good work that you all are going to be doing and stay focused. We will tell you that there's going to be different days of action coming up. For example, next week from March 12th to March 14th are going to be call-in days to Congress where people across the country are going to do that. There will be some rallies coming up in April and May, but now that you've signed in, we'll make sure that you're part of the list that get all that information. There will be days of action planned for every month until some legislation is passed. You should get advance notice of that so that you can go back locally and try to figure out the kind of activities that would help push this over so that we get those 218 votes and those 60 votes.
Okay, thank you, Joe. That's an excellent brief of what is going on here in the state and also nationally. So I would like to welcome at this moment Walter Tejada, Chair of the Arlington County Board and Immigration Co-Chair of the National Association of Counties, NACO. He has an excellent announcement, and Walter, excellent that you're here. I'm very happy.
Thank you very much, Edgar. It's great to be here. Let me run a bit of a test to see how many people have been in rallies, or especially labor organizing rallies. All right, let's see if you've been in an organizing rally. All right, ¿Se puede? Sí, se puede. ¿Se puede? Sí, se puede. Hombre, ¿se puede? Sí, se puede. All right, I guess many of you have. Thank you for that. I want to first thank Bacolao, the Virginia Coalition of Latino Agencies and Organizations, for continuing to advocate, to organize, and to make sure that people are informed. And so it's always typically to name people who are leading, and in this case we have Edgar Aranda, but I know he's the first to also give credit to everyone that's connected with Bacolao. So let's give the Virginia Coalition of Latino Agency Organization a warm hand for their continuing organizing, please. It was my personal privilege to be one of the co-founders and first chair of Bacolao way back, and so I'm delighted to continue to be a member and to try to assist in whatever way I can. Let me also say that it's amazing what community organizing and participation and voting can do. It's amazing what November 6th has done to change the environment as a result of the presidential election, period. And so one need not imagine so much what would have happened had there been a different election result on November 6th. So our president indicated that it was going to be one of his top priorities if he got re-elected. He is making it so. He is pushing hard, and I'm delighted that all of us in our own worlds and whatever network we have, all of us should be doing our part. And from my perspective, I will tell you two quick things. And you know that this year, I have the privilege to chair the Arlington County Board. It's an elected position. I have the privilege to be an elected official in Virginia. And the power of elections allowed Arlington County then to pass not only once, twice, 3 times, and in many other ways, expressions in support of comprehensive immigration reform by way of resolutions, particularly at a time back in 2007 when anti-immigrant fervor was at its worst, and not only in Virginia, and probably Prince William County may stand out in Virginia more than anything else about an awful time that we went through in this country. But there were places like Arlington County that said, no, instead we're going to come out in support of our immigrant community, no matter what their status, and we did so at a time when it was not popular, but I'm proud to say that we led the way to balance the scale that of hateful and those type of feelings that we're having. It's not healthy for our community. It hasn't been healthy for the history of this nation, so we have to change it, and now we have a good momentum to do it this year. And so, as part of my privilege to be on the county board, I get to represent Arlington in national organizations, like the National Association of Counties. Now, I know that there was a document that's being passed around. I hope that it has. Because I want to share with you that this organization, NACO, the National Association of Counties, they have a website, naco.org, if you want to confirm or double check. It represents over 2,400 counties around the country. 2,400 counties. If you can imagine the number of people that reside in 2,400 counties in the United States. Fairfax is just one. Arlington is another. So we have 2,400 counties that are represented in this organization. Well, through my involvement and my co-chair, Maricopa County Board of Supervisors, Rosemary Wilcox, and I led the way with the task force, the immigration task force in NACO, and just the legislative conference just concluded this past week, and we successfully made sure to put through a resolution in support of comprehensive immigration reform, and we become one of the first of 8 big organizations around the country that have taken the lead to pass this type of resolution to give our congressional representatives a little push to say, hey, it can be done and it can be shown with bipartisan resolutions like the one we just approved at the National Association of Counties. So I hope you have a copy of that resolution with you. This was not a simple thing to obtain bipartisan discussions among county officials, people like me who serve around the country in different counties, coming together in support of this. I just talked to Congressman Moran, and he indicated he will be using this resolution as part of his conversations he will be having with folks. I'm about to send a press release, so this just happened. So, we haven't had time to send a press release to put it out, but so you're one of the first to get it as you see it right in your hands. You probably get an email from me at some point down the line with this information and others to push everybody to make sure to continue the drive for immigration reform. The last thing I'll mention is that the community organizing that has been taking place, we have seen some results. So now is not the time to drop the ball. All of us need to, whenever someone says, hey, we need you to show up, even if it's just physical presence, to be part of the crowd, to support immigration reform, I urge you to do that no matter where it is, if it's within our reach, if you have time to do that. Or if there are meetings that we need to attend, urge you to do that. And finally, I would just say that no immigration policy adjustment in this country had ever taken place without bipartisan support. So and some of us, I think you know which side of the aisle I am in, but no matter where we are, we have got to bring both the Republicans and Democrats together to ensure that we have common ground. We will not give away the store, however. A path to earn citizenship is not negotiable. That one we will stick all the way through. So I would just encourage you to continue to particularly encourage our conservative delegation. I would just tell you, Eric Kenta was mentioned that his staff is eager to participate in negotiations and in language. They have said that they don't just want to react to a bill once it's submitted. They want to be part of the crafting language. So through NACO and the National Council La Raza and other groups where we have an opportunity to provide a national voice, we have said, welcome to the table. Come on over, be part of the negotiation. We welcome you, so we want to hear from them as well. Thank you for the advocacy everyone is doing. It's great to see our young people here. Let's continue the fight because se puede. Se puede. Se puede. Thank you. Let's keep on the fight.
I would like to, one more song, so to enjoy and be more relaxed so we can transition it. But before that, I would like to invite Ricardo Juarez. He has a very short announcement about the Virginia Immigrant People's Coalition. They met last week in Richmond and with several organizations, and he has an announcement very short. Please welcome to Ricardo Juarez.
Hi everybody. On this process, on this struggle in Virginia, organizing our community to to struggle and fight the anti-immigrant policies for these last years, there was created the Virginia Immigrant People's Coalition in Richmond a couple of years ago. And we meet the last weekend, and we already know about this meeting. So we as a coalition are a network of organized families, workers, students, professionists, volunteers, people on deportation, religious, and business people too. One of the agreements that we have in our meeting was to come to this one and express our disposition to work together in order to create the major unity that bring this struggle to be successful. So we are committed. We are here to join this effort, and one of our principal goals will be to organize the immigrant communities to bring their voice and their direct participation on this process, on this struggle, and also to work to organize the non-immigrant people in Virginia to support our demands. Thank you.